Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and double honors to the apostles and the elders, great millstone, Bashem Rakak Wadash. My name is Yakalba from Plantage Camp in Philly. This is Proverbs 14:15. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his goings. You know, when you look at the news, it's always changing. So you can, say one thing and then the next, a couple of hours it changed because he saw, he's trying to save face and he's moving around so you can't find him. All right. Now you try to figure out what the truth is, and Esau's such a liar and a devil. He moves around so much. He changed the goalposts. It's hard to figure out what Esau's saying. So apparently, they sold the bank, and the shares went up. All right. So Credit Suisse Group AG is a global investment bank. And it says on the New York Stock Exchange is $2.16, apparently. Or if they didn't sell the bank, they put out offers. People were putting out offers or something like that. It says a woman walks past Credit Suisse's bank headquarters in London Thursday, March 16, 2023. Credit Suisse's shares soared 30% on Thursday after it announced it will move to shore up its finances by borrowing up to nearly $54 billion from the Swiss central bank, bolstering confidence as fears about the banking system moved from the U.S. to Europe. All right. So they're going to borrow money from the same people that were getting money from in the first place. The fractional reserve banking system. All right. So they only telling us, part of what's actually going on. But we know they failed. I mean, they were making one meaning is they were making less money than their expenses. Credit Suisse announced the agreement before the Swiss stock market opened, sending shares up as much as 33% before they settled around 17% gain to 2 francs. Francis? I don't know how you pronounce that. Francs. About $2.15. In late afternoon trading, that was a massive turnaround from a day earlier when news that the banks, so they're playing a big game. All right, they're lying so much, and they're trying to save the bank, but they kind of really wanted to collapse. They keep switching up what they're trying to do to confuse people. All right, so you report one day, and then they switch up in a couple hours. So you got to kind of stay up on it. All right, or just wait for a couple days and then report on it. It says news that bank's biggest shareholder would not inject more money into the Credit Suisse sent its shares tumbling 30%. The plunge in price dragged down other European banks and deepened concerns about the international financial system. Yeah, because a lot of people were talking that it's saying that it's about to collapse. The system's about to collapse because people are losing faith in the system. All right. So as long as people are, put their money into the system, it's going to stay up. But they start taking it out, or somebody steals something, then it's going to collapse. The link will be in the description box. It says American authorities move quickly to guarantee all of the deposits of the California-based bank and the smaller Signature Bank of New York. U.S. Federal Reserve also announced additional funding to ensure other banks could meet the needs of depositors. So they're making it seem like, even if the bank is not making money, we're not going to let the bank steal your money. We're going to cover your what you have in the bank. And that's noble. But, eventually what? They're going to bring in the new financial system. They want to bring in the digital currency. All right. So this is just, they call it ripple effects or fractures. It's eventually going to come to a head, and this is making a lot of people wake up. All right. So the Silicon Valley Bank believe was sold. In a similar move, the British government and the Bank of England facilitated the sale of Silicon Valley's Bank's UK arm of HSBC, one of Europe's biggest banks, ensuring that customers would have access to their money. All right. So this proves it's just monopoly money. All right. It's not real. It's real because you trust it, or we trust it. All right. Yellen declares the U.S. banking system. Thursday, Secretary Janet Yellen is telling Congress. Well, what else she tell you?
Will come to order, and we are happy to welcome the Treasury Secretary.
This week, the government took decisive and forceful actions to stabilize and strengthen public confidence in our financial system. First, we worked with the Federal Reserve and FDIC to protect all depositors of the two failed banks. On Monday morning, customers were able to access all of the money in their deposit accounts so they could make payroll and pay the bills. Shareholders and debt holders are not being protected by the government. Importantly, no taxpayer money is being used or put at risk with this action. Deposit protection is provided by the Deposit Insurance Fund, which is funded by fees on banks. Second, the Federal Reserve is providing additional support to the banking system with a new lending facility. This will help financial institutions meet the needs of all of their depositors. I can reassure the members.
That's the tax money. Anything the Federal Reserve does for a bank is tax money. You know.
Members of the committee that our banking system is sound and that Americans can feel confident that their deposits will be there when they need them. This week's actions demonstrate our resolute commitment to ensure that our financial system remains strong and that depositors' savings remain safe.
All right. Yeah, I don't have no faith in this. I got money in the bank, but apparently I got money in the bank. I don't trust that I don't trust in this is the system. If my bank collapses, yeah, I believe that they're going to cover it, but then that could change. Because remember, they can do whatever they want. They can play. It's like the big game to them, and they're trying to bring in a new world order, new system. All right, it could be safe one day. Well, you could have Janet Yellen or whoever's the head of the Federal Reserve. I think she's head of the Federal Reserve, saying that that they're not protecting the bank, but they're protecting the customers that have money in the bank. Right? And they're not protecting shareholders, because if that's like you're gambling pretty much if you're a shareholder. All right. I don't mean that literally, but your money's at risk is what I mean when you on the stock market. When you put money in the stock market, so it could be secure one day, but then not secure the next day, because they want to bring in the new system. So whatever they have to do to bring in a new system, the new digital system, they're going to do. So there's one day, she's instilling confidence in people. The government's, the Federal Reserve is instilling confidence in you. Another day they could say, well, something happened. We don't know what happened. We have to use this new system. So we're going to wait and see how it plays out, because, one thing can happen, and then a bank fails, something happens, then they introduce a solution. A solution is another bank is going to buy the bank, or they're going to borrow money from their local central bank, and then cover everybody's deposits who has money. Okay, I still don't trust you. All right, I still don't trust you. But we're just reporting news as we see it. It's always going to change. All right. So we'll report something one day, and then 2 hours later it can change. All right. So you just got to keep your eyes open. This is eventually it's going to collapse, man. Jeremiah 51:9. We would have healed Babylon. This proves that Babylon is a place, not something in your mind. All right. Babylon is a place. It's a country. But she is not healed. Forsake her. And these banks collapsing and the government, the central banks taking over those banks and helping those banks is proof. It's just another shred of evidence that the system is going to collapse. All right. We're seeing a pattern. All right. They're establishing a record. All right. But she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us go everyone to his own country, for her judgment reached unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. This is Jeremiah 51:9. Healed, H7495. Rapah. I highlighted that. Of nations, defects, and hurts. All right, figuratively. All right, you could say literally too. It's poetic. All right. So the nation being hurt is what? Part of that is the financial system. The spirit of the people also. All right. The financial system is the subject matter. All right. Of nations' defects or hurts. We would have healed, so he's being sarcastic. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Yeah, because eventually what's going to happen? This is a future prophecy. And we see the fractures. We see trends happening now. What they've been happening since 2008. They've been happening since the Federal Reserve came into power. And probably before that. Started seeing the fractures. All right. I think I have one more scripture. Habakkuk. Well, I got the shares. $2.16 by the end of this day. It's Thursday today. It's going to air in the morning time on Friday morning. All right. So that's it. Yeah, I'm not in Ventura City. I got a VPN. Habakkuk 2:6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him? Yeah, because the Bible is written in parables. Let's look at the word parable. And a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that laddeneth himself with thick clay. Yeah. It's talking about America, but remember we live in a globalist financial system, a global financial system now. We got Ibat yacht. All right, H5671. Weights of pledges, heavy debts. All right, debt. All right, typically money that is owed or due. Well, who? To the Federal Reserve and to the people. Not just to the Federal Reserve, to the people too. Because if the bank collapsed in the Federal Reserve system, the IMF, whatever system, central bank you have in your country, they step in and help. So that's debt. So it's ran on debt. And they steal the people's money, the depositors, whether it would be in America or Europe or any country. The system is ran by the little hats, all right, that made debt money because it's monopoly money. They control the whole system, all right. And that Latineth himself, we'll look up Latineth, H3513. Kabod. Heavyweight, grievous, hard, heavy. So it's a lot of debt. Make heavy. Heavy. In a bad sense. All right. It can also be used in a good sense, but obviously it's being used here in a bad sense. Debt. That's not good. Even though Esau made it, we prospered for a long time because of that central banking system. All right. And then eventually what? The fire is going to come down and to completely burn America, Babylon up. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee and awake and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them, meaning spoil. Meaning they're gonna burn you, they're gonna destroy you. By taking you, meaning they're gonna shoot their missiles on you. All right, because thou hast spoiled many nations. All the remnant of the people shall spoil thee because of men's blood, and for the violence of the land of the city and of all that dwell therein. Yeah, the different wars America has had with these other countries, the predatory loans. All right, if they do a deal with the a nation and they can't pay back the loan within the contract, they have to agree to collect on their debt, and that could be owning a highway, that could be owning a toll system. Like you charge tolls to your citizens, the way they own the highway now. That's in the contract. Another country doesn't go into another country and build something for free. All right, and they're a poor country, or they're not accepting what they're selling. They agree to a contract. These are absolute facts. It's not. I'm not using. I'm not extrapolating or making educated guesses. That's a fact. That if they don't exchange money to build something, they trade a natural resource, a toll on a highway, a ownership in something that government that's building whatever in your country believes is valuable, and that's in the contract. All right, so that's predatory lending or predatory building. All right, they know they can't pay it, but they gonna let them build the highway, let them build the high rise. But if you can't pay us and whatever they agreed, then they take something they believe is valuable, and that's in the contract, and that's predatory. All right, and that's wicked. A devil would do that. Satan. All right. Esau is not the only one to do that. The other Moab do that too, because of men's blood. All right, so Credit Susie and the Valley Bank was California-based. Silicon Valley. That's a good name, Silicon Valley Bank. You would think they wouldn't lose money. They would be getting money off the interest and fees and all that. But depositors start taking their money out. If I'm not mistaken, they start losing faith in the company. They start taking shit out. So banks can't last if you don't put your money in there. That's how the banks work. All right, you gotta keep put your money in there. You got to get credit cards from them and loans so they have interest so they can pay their employees and pay their taxes that they can probably write off anyway. All right. So things are always changing. So keep that in mind when you see us do videos. All right. All those brothers doing videos, then it changes. You got to be mindful of that. You always got to watch. Proverbs 14:15. The simple believeth every word, but the prudent man looketh well to his goings. All right. So hope you edified. $2.16. Right. Hope you edified. Shalom.